So, should you copyright your music before you send it to a music library or a music supervisor or anybody in the TV film music licensing business? It's a great question. Now, I want to clear up some confusion that a lot of producers and artists might have about copywriting. So, many of you maybe are aware or maybe are not aware that the moment you create your song, your track, whatever you're working on, and you put it in a tangible medium, saying that, let's say you burn a CD or you make an MP3 file or a .wav file, you actually are creating the copyright right then and there. And that tangible medium with your song or your track on it gives you all of those exclusive rights. So you have the right to monetize your track, to distribute it, to transfer your rights to somebody else if you'd like to. You can do anything you want with your track. Now, when people talk about copyrighting their music, generally what they're talking about is sending their music to the Library of Congress and having it registered with the government with your name, and you send the song to them. And so now there's a sort of official government document on file that proves that you wrote this song and that you're the rightful copyright owner. Many artists feel that you need to do this for every song that you release. Now, when it comes to, you're going to put music on iTunes and you're going to release it to the general public, where there could be a lot of people taking your music, remixing it, or trying to re-release it, and maybe monetize off your music, then yes, definitely a great idea to send it off to the Library of Congress and get that stamp basically from the government. Now, that doesn't mean that without sending it to them that you have no ability to take legal action against somebody. What sending it to the Library of Congress does for you is it, like I said, it creates an official document stamped and signed and sealed with the U.S. government, which basically helps you establish a much stronger case if you ever did have to go to court. That's really what the Library of Congress is doing for artists and producers out there that submit to them. So they're not granting copyrights. Again, you create the copyright when you create the music. What they're doing is they're sort of saying, you can send your music to us and register and pay a small fee. And for that fee, basically what we'll do is we'll file away the fact that you made this record, that you made this track, and we'll have official documentation that shows the date and that you paid this fee to have the song copyrighted to you, right? So that's really all that means. Now, in my almost 10 years of making a living, getting my songs placed in TV shows, movies, and commercials, I have done this 0 times. I have never sent my tracks to the Library of Congress and paid that, I think it's $35 per song. It might have increased now. That's what it was when I last did it with my band years ago. I have never done that, and I have never had one issue in the TV film music licensing business. Now, it doesn't mean that there could be issues that come along the way, that somebody finds one of my catalogs out there on some library and rips it off and tries to, whatever. That obviously there are sharks out there. There's, corrupt people out there. Things happen. But I've never spent one dime copywriting, and I should correct myself, sending my music to the Library of Congress. I create a copyright every time I make a song, but I've never spent one dime doing that, mostly because the TV film world, it's not like the pop radio world where like everybody is ripping off each other and kind of looking at what's the new hot song that maybe I can make a cover song on YouTube. And there's a lot of popular, widespread mainstream attention going to those kind of artists and songs. Whereas the TV film world, we're kind of the unsung heroes in the back room of the industry. Our audience is basically music supervisors and editors. And, these are not people that are going to want to hear a song that we created, some great background music track, and want to like remix it and throw it up on iTunes or try to, monetize it. It's very, very rare that anything like that would even come across somebody's mind in this side of the business. So in some ways, just the nature of the business that you're in when you get into TV film music licensing, you're sort of insulating yourself from a lot of the theft and the remixing culture and all the stuff that goes on when people want to take popular music and make it their own and then start monetizing it. So again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving any legal advice here. If you feel like you really want to do that extra mile of protection for yourself, then go ahead and send it off to the Library of Congress and go for it. It will add up in the long run, because I can tell you I make about 50 to 100 tracks per year, and sometimes more than that. So if I were doing that for every one of my songs, that's cutting into my profits quite a bit to be spending that kind of money. So I've never done it. I've never had an issue with it. But again, you got to make a choice for yourself. So I hope that helps answer a little bit of this confusion about should you be copywriting your music. If you want to learn more about the TV film music licensing business, then click this video right here and you'll be sent a free crash course which will teach you everything you need to know to get started today.